Welcome to Omnibros Live Coffee with the Omnibros. That's right. We have cups of coffee. Actually, I already had a cup of coffee, and I don't even know if Gio drinks coffee.
A little bit.
But a little bit? Okay. So we're minus our two latest members. And by latest, I mean they're always late. But there's two of us. That's enough to get a show started. And
Yeah.
I like this idea already that Thomas Judge has. So let me put it up. You should do one episode where each of you is going for a drive-through coffee. You could call it Coffee and Cars with OmniBros. I love that idea.
That's cool.
Because didn't we have an episode where Gabe went to Taco Bell or something? Or In and Out or something?
He got an In and Out. He was at the drive-through, and then he did another episode where he was at a Starbucks. I remember.
At Starbucks?
Yeah.
Okay. And here he is with his turtle shirt.
What up?
Nice.
Raphael's the best turtle, in case anybody's wondering.
I think so far he's my favorite, but I've only read one book, so I don't know. I haven't been able to judge yet. But Tyler Blunt and I are reviewing the next Turtles book, book 2, this week.
Nice. You need to watch the movies, Jess.
Okay.
Like
the live action or the cartoons?
The original live action movie.
Yeah.
And the CGI animated one from I want to say 10 or 12 years ago are the best things you're ever going to watch related to the Ninja Turtles. Outside, there's one more thing that's just as great is the last Nickelodeon series. Not the current one, the one that ended about a year ago. That's the best representation of the Ninja Turtles you're ever going to watch is that Nickelodeon show.
Okay.
And that is not hyperbole. That is hardcore facts.
Let's see. How about if turtles go to space, Jess? Leo is my favorite. To be, I did not like the TMNT movies. Blah, blah, blah. Blasphemy. Leonardo is the best turtle. El Denver, no one is going to do that idea. Forget it. No one's wearing a shock collar.
Oh, no.
What we do in our private lives is our private lives.
Yeah, that's right. Before I totally forget, we need to talk about our sponsor, InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. So potentially you're looking at 52% off on a book, which is incredible. Every quarter, there is a Omnibroslive discount code. Over $50 in an order, you get free shipping in the United States. That's pretty boss, I think. Everybody's scrounging around for that extra book that gets them over $50 so they can save on shipping. Fabulous packaging and the best customer service around. That's InStockTrades.com. Do-do. Okay.
I just got my review books in from InStock Trades.
Oh, you did? And let me see. Wait. Thanos, Murder Falcon, and then a book that I accidentally ordered on my own.
Well, that's going to take.
Oh, Green Lantern. Well, I didn't get the review book, and Green Lantern, right?
That's right. That's the 3.
Yeah.
Right.
We should start doing. Maybe we should start doing a poll and let the viewers pick our review books one month.
Well, they'd need to know the parameters.
That could go wrong in so many ways, but
I was
that's
just
cool.
thinking that.
Well, no, we would have to to prevent it from being this weird total cluster. We would pick a group that we would want to fall within our parameters, and then they choose from those.
That's a good idea.
That's fun. Yeah.
Joe Chip, I did not get the Joker Bronze Age Omni. I don't recall really caring for those stories that much. Bronze Age is a funny thing for me. There are some Bronze Age titles from DC that I cared about and some that I did not care about. That's when I started falling out of love with comic books in the Bronze Age. And Joker was part of that. JLA and Joker were two titles I did not care for in the Bronze Age.
Well, when you talk about DC Bronze Age, that's way different than Marvel Bronze Age.
Yeah.
Same way as when you talk about Marvel Silver Age versus DC Silver Age. DC's Bronze Age was still kind of stuck in the Silver Age. Like they were catching up to Marvel Silver Age, which by then was already outdated.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the Bronze Age, you also had Green Lantern, Green Arrow, which was revolutionary.
Yep.
And you had Superman in the Bronze Age, which was good. There was some early Batman in the Bronze Age, which was good. But then Justice League was just atrocious, I thought. Now, I know a lot of viewers are going to disagree with me. A lot of viewers love Justice League in the Bronze Age, and that is fine. That's Bronze Age is your Justice League. That's cool. But I just didn't dig it. So it's a mixed bag, DC's Bronze Age for me. And there's old Sam Cluxon. Sam is not been...
Oh, sorry.
Yes. No, go ahead. Sam can wait.
At the same time, you did get the DC Universe Bronze Age Omnibus.
Who did?
You did.
DC Universe Bronze Age Omnibus?
That last Jack Kirby one that came out?
Oh, right. Yeah, the Jack Kirby one. That is boss. That was some boss stuff. Yeah, I loved his crazy mind working on that stuff. Yeah, you're right.
Bronze Age also got you like Swamp Thing too, but that was up until about again when Alan Moore kind of revolutionized DC comics in general in the mid '80s. That's when it really started to get.
That's when I fell back in love with DC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sam has a recommendation here. Jess, have you read Codename Knockout? Have any of you guys heard of that?
It sounds like something out of a Do-Bomb episode.
Wow.
A Do-Bomb episode.
I want to
send me to the ER.
I want to say that's kind of like is it Jimmy Palmiotti that did it? It sounds like it's like a dirty, not dirty, but it kind of sounds like one of those like good girl books for some reason.
I don't know. Sam, you've got us stumped.
Codename Knockout, published by Vertigo for 24 issues between June 2001 and June 2003.
Wow.
Created by Robert Rohde and Louis Small Jr.
Is that something that you recommend, Sam? Sam knows my taste. Sam's a mystery. He's somebody that knows like my life story, and I know that's not his real name. It's somebody very close. He's almost a stalker.
I think you'll like the covers because I like them.
Oh, really?
Cool. Yeah. If you can Google them real quick for yourself, then yeah.
Okay, wait. Codename Knockout?
Yeah.
Okay, just a sec.
They look pretty badass.
Name Knockout.
I was not expecting that at all with that name.
Whoa. DC put those out?
What's Vertigo?
Vertigo, okay.
Yeah.
That was back when Vertigo was still good.
Is it collected?
Let's see.
I'm looking it up too, see what's going on.
I have a new favorite comic book, and I don't even care if it's good or bad.
There is a trade out, but I don't know if it's
super long gone. That's super.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Came out 2010.
I might be able to use my superpowers to find it, but it's got 24 issues, but only one trade.
That's what it looks like.
Check.
I'm only seeing the one trade. I'm just looking through what's been solicited through Diamond, of course, but that's all I see.
Oh, you can find it for cheap on eBay.
And
I'm seeing
I wonder
a lot
if it
of
has all 24 issues.
It's 1 through 6.
Yeah, it's
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
all 24
It's 0 through 6.
So all 24 didn't get collected?
no.
Doesn't seem like it, right?
no.
Okay, I'm on a hunt.
Mm,
I love those covers by is that Joe Chodo that did those covers? I think so. I thought it was a early Dave Johnson for a moment.
mm.
Aiku, I did get Southern Cross. It's in my to read pile, but I'm going to be on Omar's show on Tuesday talking about Authority. And the next 3 days, I have to reread Authority.
Jesus.
Oh boy.
I know. I've got to plow through it and be on Omar's show. So I have till 7:59 Tuesday to finish it. So then maybe I can get to Southern Cross. I really want to read it.
You know what I totally forgot about, and I kind of stumbled across, and I started thinking it's a Vertigo title, but I think it's probably one of the last like actual like Vertigo like books you can actually claim was like a really good Vertigo title, and that's Unwritten.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that book for a while, and I stumbled across it the other day. And now I know a lot of it's out of print, and I know that hardcover. There's only just that one hardcover that was solicited, and then they stopped doing it.
Oh, the trades are out of print?
A lot of them are. Yeah, so I kind of want to hunt them down now because I remember
I'm glad
loving
I got
that.
the trades.
Loving
Because
that series.
I started with the oversized hardcover, then they stopped, so I grabbed the trades.
You have all of them. There's like 11 or something.
Yeah, I know. I
That's
have
a lot.
all 11.
Yeah,
Which is why.
I still think it's one of the last good like actual Vertigo books where it kind
Yeah.
of falls under like what you think a good Vertigo book should be. You know, it has great cover. The covers are amazing. Some of the best covers ever to ever come out were on that Unwritten title.
I'm going to put this up just because I love this guy's name.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Omnidog, did you like that request that I sent you about Legion of Superheroes Volume 2? I certainly did. I did an overview of it, and I think it's going to be a long-term popular overview. Those things take a while to get legs as people tend to find them, but usually overview of the Silver Age and book Omnis tend to be some of my better vids, but I don't even know where your name came from. I don't want to know, but I think it's a great name. Scarlet Couture was much better than what? Codename Knockout? What's Scarlet Couture, Chris M? Chris M's a regular, so he knows my taste too.
I'd never heard of that.
No. Codename Knockout. Just when I think I've got everything I've ever wanted, then I need something else.
Super baited.
Super baited.
That
Titan
Knockout book
Comics.
has art by Amanda Connor, by the way.
Oh, I like her. I'm on their mailing list, and they always go super sale on Amanda Connor covers, and I go, oh, awesome! They come in and they're like $8,000 or $12,000.
Oh, talking about originals? Wow.
Yeah, original covers for Harley Quinn. I'm like, oh, $12,000. Yeah, that's great.
Sure.
Speaking of original art, I showed you guys that Adam Kubert apparently found that splash page from Wolverine 75 where Wolverine first pops his bone claws.
Mm-hmm.
He found it in his office the other day, apparently under like mixed in a pile of just other papers.
Now it's 12:14, and here's Comics Guide 101. Do we leave him in timeout or do we add him to the stream?
Bring in Orange Skull.
I don't.
Hey. Are we talking about movie books yet?
Yeah, we just were. You
Ooh.
missed it. You missed it. You need to look up on Google Codename Knockout.
Ooh. I'll check that out later.
From Vertigo.
From Vertigo?
That's what we're looking at.
I'll take a look at that below.
Sergio Fritas wants to know, when's the DC Bombshells 2 overview coming? I think I just ordered it. So it's going to be a couple weeks because I don't do expedited shipping. What was that?
Apparently, it took Lou 15 minutes to grab water. He must have went to the store.
Yeah, I had to grab water and I had to walk my dog real quick. She was yawning at the door.
Jess wants to add more stuff to his burn box.
Yeah.
It's not a burn box. It's my Omar, call Omar immediately box upon my death. I guess that's a burn box.
What's the difference?
Sorry?
What's the difference? It's the same thing.
Yeah, I guess it's a burn box. Yeah, he's going to call it.
But will he burn it, though?
He may take the stuff for himself, although, to be honest, I think he has most of the stuff in the box himself.
Probably.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Did anybody get the new printing of Justice from Bruce Jonas in the chat?
Let's see. Where is that? Right there.
You did get it.
Did anybody get the new printing of Justice? An excellent book, one of my top 12 books.
I need to hit up. I keep forgetting. I'm gonna try something new, and see if we can get Jim Krieger on the show to do something new. We'll talk about it.
Gosh, that would be a dream come true, dude.
Oh, I can get him on easily. He's a really cool guy, and we hung out a lot. I just have a different idea of what to do for an interview show, and I'm gonna talk about it, you guys, and see if we can find a way to figure it out and the implications and logistics of it first.
In a strip club?
Yes, in a strip club.
Wow.
You got one right here, dude.
That's very interactive.
Jess has a strip club?
I make it rain.
How do you think all those statues got funded?
Yeah. Yeah, Justice. I would love to talk to him about Justice. That would be famous. So, yeah, let's hear your idea. We need to get somebody on. We haven't had somebody on in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah. I don't think Luis has seen Legion Season 2 yet.
No, I have not.
So, Madelyn, he hasn't seen Legion Season 3. That is on my list to watch as soon as I'm done with Star Trek, which I think is coming up this week. I'm going to somehow find the energy to finish Star Trek and start Legion Season 3.
Has that been pretty good? Has that been consistently solid?
Star Trek?
Yeah. The new Star Trek.
Oh, yes. They've got a whole new place they're going that involves something remarkably cool that I think is awesome. It's great.
Ooh.
Yeah. New captain, and he's kick-ass, takes no names or whatever it is. Whatever the phrase is. He's a kick-ass captain, and it's great. They're looking for Spock, who's on the run, and there's a red angel that appears at certain events, and they don't know if it's from heaven or if it's an alien, but it seems to be they don't know. It appears at all these events, and I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's so great.
I need to check it out.
Oh, it's the actor that played Black Bolt?
Yeah. I forgot his name.
Is that a good thing?
Well, he's a good actor in Star Trek. I didn't know that.
He was in the show about the train. Was it on AMC? It was a Western show. They were.
Oh, Hell on Wheels.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, Hell on Wheels.
What's it called?
Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, Common.
Yep. That's how he got famous. And then I was really excited that he was going to play Black Bolt, and whatever.
What did you think of the Inhumans movie, Gio?
Oh, it was fantastic. I dreamt about it last night. It was so good.
Vin Diesel is Black Bolt, man. Who would have guessed?
Wow.
That would have been perfect. That would have been perfect.
Yep.
One day, man. They'll bring them back.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just going to take a long time. But
you know what's not going to get brought back?
What?
Doesn't seem like that new Mutants movie is going to get brought back and released.
Oh yeah, that's
That is breaking my heart. I wanted to see that so badly, but Disney was not impressed with the first or second or third cut or whatever it is of this. Whatever they saw, they were not impressed with it. And this horror genre, New Mutants thing really excited me. And I'm really bummed.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping it was supposed to be Demon Bear, right? The Demon Bear storyline slightly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great story. It would be nice to have seen a different genre other than just like superheroes punching each other kind of movie. And everything else with Demon Bear, like it seems like that Epic is running out of print. The
out of print alert.
Sienkiewicz, yep, out of print alert on that. That Bill Sienkiewicz Marvel Select, like IDW, like slipcasing, that's super out of print and started going for crazy money. So there seems to have been some kind of fan reaction to Demon Bear being republished, but it's apparently not good enough of a movie for Disney to move forward with.
I'm quite bummed. And when I say
really,
bummed, I mean it.
I really wanted to see Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic.
I want to see all of them as their characters. Like
Mm-hmm.
Homeboy from Stranger Things as Cannonball was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we'll see what happens. But, I mean, maybe they got gun shy because that Phoenix movie, all the Fox that they inherited apparently wasn't doing so well. Like the last Phoenix X-Men movie. Which, it's kind of a split. A lot of people like it, a lot of people hate it. So I don't know what to think about the Phoenix movie because I dodged that like the Matrix.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it. I don't think any of us other than Ryley and Omar have seen it.
I didn't see it, but I want to see it. I don't think I was given a chance. It was only out for like a week.
Yeah, that thing bombed. That did horrible at the box office.
Yeah, it had Hellboy numbers, didn't it?
He had a budget of
anything's been
$200
that
million,
bad.
and it only made $252.4 million.
Oh.
So, I mean, they didn't even break even.
Yeah, just exactly.
They didn't even break even on it because what's the rule is you double the production number because of marketing and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't even probably break even on that thing. It's a loss. It was a bomb.
I'll watch it on the new Disney app.
Yay! Hooray for new mouse overlords.
Even I, for one, welcome them.
Yeah, apparently that's the Dark Phoenix is the lowest grossing X-Men movie.
Did you guys see they announced like the first day stuff for Disney Plus? What you'll be able to watch the first day?
Oh no! Clue us in.
Tell us.
Is it just everything?
No. They're slowly wheel stuff out. I saw it the other day. I think it's like the Toy Story films. I forgot what else.
Well, that's all that matters.
Please don't say Inside Out.
Oh, you mean the greatest Pixar movie they've ever made? You heartless bastard!
I know, I'm a monster.
Oh, what a wonderful movie!
See if I can find it.
Do we want to go over DC solicits at all? Those are some big bucks. I know I am excited because I only own it in trade paperback. Is the Superman Batman run?
Mm-hmm.
And that's getting an Omni. I am getting that. I want to see the Michael Turner art for that Supergirl run.
Yep. And who did the first arc? I forgot.
Ed McGuinness in the
thank you.
Yeah. He's not too shabby either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Michael Turner stuff, I think that's in the first Absolute, right? I have the Absolute.
I don't have the Absolutes, so I actually don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same.
I have the Absolutes in it. I think, the Michael Turner stuff's in there. So this collects what's in the Absolute, and I think the next arc afterwards, there's more in it than the two Absolutes. So
nice. Probably be getting it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting it. Omnidog is the only person who watched the original Star Trek that likes Discovery so much. Are you sure about that?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that saw the original Star Trek and like the new one too.
I was around for the very first Star Trek. That's definitely true.
Okay, I think I found it. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we know Amazing Planet, Andy Mack. I have no freaking clue what that is. Season 1 through season 3. Boy Meets World. Brain Game. Dr. Dog Whisperer with Caesar Milan. Hey, I like that show. Dr. K's Exotic Animals. Dr. Oakley Yukon Vet. Yukon Vet? I don't know.
Yukon. Yeah.
Drain the Oceans. DuckTales. The 1987 series and the 2016.
Wait, stop. DuckTales. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
DuckTales is fun.
Earth Live. Actually, the reboot of DuckTales isn't too bad either, from what I've heard. Encore. Forky asks a question. Oh God, kill it with fire.
Forky gets his own show.
Fuck me, Forky. No.
We've lost Lou. We just got him, and we already lost
Oh
him.
God, no! I'm done with that. I'm so done with Forky. He belongs in the trash, just like he was trying to go into the TV.
Yeah, he ruined Toy Story 4 by
Oh
far.
God!
And he was the basis of the entire movie.
Goof Troop, Great
Yes.
Migrations. Here's one for Gio. High School Musical, the series. Howie Mandel's
Woo.
Animal. Howie Mandel's Animals Doing Things. Kim Possible. Malcolm in the Middle.
Nope, done.
Malcolm in the Middle is great.
Malcolm in the Middle is fantastic.
I love that show.
It's a shame Frankie Muniz is now a nut job. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, the animated series.
It's okay.
Yeah. Marvel's Hero Project. Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man, animated. Mickey and the Roadster Racers, season 1 and season 2.
Ooh.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse
Nice.
Shorts.
Ooh, I'll watch that.
Nice.
One strange rock, which sounds like the thing that my weed dealer gives to the other guys. Raven's Home, Rocky Mountain Animal Rescue, Spark Shorts, Star Wars Rebels. That's a good Star Wars series, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Clone Wars is good too.
Yep.
That's So Raven, The Incredible Dr. Cool, The Mandalorian, which I'm really excited for.
Wait, what's that again?
That's the spin-off Star Wars series focusing on the bounty hunters.
Right. Is that live action?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, I want to see that.
John Favreau directed it.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which I'm going to be so high watching that.
The World According to Jeff Goldblum. Who asked for that?
I did.
You did not. You've
love
never
Jeff
been
Goldblum.
so high that you've asked for Jeff Goldblum.
I love Jeff Goldblum. He is awesome. My dog agrees with me.
You are tripping on PCP and acid right now. There's no way you asked for a Jeff Goldblum show.
Unlikely Animal Friends, Untitled Walt Disney Imaginary Disney documentary series, Wicked Tuna, Sweet Christmas, Captain. We could skip this one. Iron Man.
Captain, is it Captain Planet?
No. That's actually a good thing. Thor: The Dark World. That actually contributed to the world. Pixar. Everything except for Toy Story 4. That's literally what it says. Everything except for Toy Story 4.
That means Inside Out.
Yeah.
I'm
Star
never
Wars.
leaving my house again.
Star Wars episodes 1 through 7.
Ugh.
The Phantom Menace through Force Awakens. No word on if these will be the original cut or if these are going to be the Lucas fucked up cuts.
I can guarantee you they're going to be the Lucas effed up cuts.
You never know.
That's gonna be like it's gonna be like a secret release where they just actually drop the original cuts and everyone's gonna lose their shit.
Oh my god, that'd be so awesome.
I want the original cut so bad.
Blue, you can get them on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I just have to go through different means to get them.
Okay, that'll be part of our investment advice show after this. I'll help you with that.
How to score Blu-rays on the dark web.
Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
Oh, I love Rogue One too. It's awesome.
Yeah, I do too. The Disney General stuff. Now we're getting like the classic Disney movies. 101 Dalmatians, a goofy movie. An extremely goofy movie, which I actually enjoyed.
Those are pretty new, or not new, but
Bambi, Born in China. I don't know what that is. Is it just following kids around as they make my shoes?
I think it's a panda movie. I think it's a movie about pandas.
Fantasia.
Ooh,
Sidebar.
Fantasia's great.
Fantasia is great. Sidebar. I used to think the kids in It's a Small World after all were real kids, and they were just trapped there by their parents or something like that. They were left there. They were just left there, and they were just like hooked to a shock collar. Free Solo, which is a great documentary if you haven't seen that.
What's it called?
Wait, why is that here? Free Solo is a documentary about a guy who climbs mountains and stuff without any gear.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I thought it was something about Hope Solo, the youth soccer goalie.
I thought it was something about the red Solo cups you get at house parties.
Frozen, fun and fancy free. Hercules, I love Hercules.
Oh, I liked Hercules.
Yeah. High School
The animated movie or the animated series?
Animated movie.
I'm
God
pretty sure.
damn it, give me the series on the streaming site already, please.
The series was good.
The series is great.
Yeah, it was really
all those Disney series that were based on like a feature film were fantastic.
Mhm.
Aladdin, Hercules. I'm trying to think of other ones.
I think there's a Lion King one too.
There's a newer one out now called like Lion Guard. I think that's like about the Lion King as well, or I think it's Simba's kid.
Mm-hmm.
Is there?
Yeah, and yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Joe. I think there was a Lion King one that takes place in between the time jump.
Yeah, the Lion King.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
We have a fifth member.
It was a Lion King 1.5, right?
Yeah, that's the movie that takes place between 1 and 2, from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective.
What else do we got? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I love those.
Is it all of them?
Just as the first one on here. Lilo and Stitch.
Poor ant.
Nice.
Huh?
I was talking about the poor ant in that movie.
Yeah. Lady and the Tramp. Wow, that's a name that won't go over well today.
Classic movie though. That I wonder if they're gonna have the Siamese twins. I mean the Siamese cats racist scene in it.
Do you know they're making a live action version of Lady and the Tramp
Of course, they're making live action of everything.
with like real dogs?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna have the racist Siamese cat scene.
No way. We are Siamese.
If you please, we are Siamese. If you don't please.
No, that shit is staying in the Disney vault. That is getting locked up in that thing like of what's that really racist old Disney movie, Song of the South? That stuff is all getting locked up in that vault.
Well, I know they're clipping the Black Crows scene from Dumbo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they clip that stuff out now. There's a few more things. Good God. All right, Mary Poppins. You know, I've still never seen that.
What? What? What are you
Sorry,
asking about? Oh my God, you are a monster.
Go see. They watched Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks is brilliant.
Is that like a sequel to Mary Poppins?
It's the making of Mary Poppins with where they have the woman that wrote Mary Poppins, what Walt Disney had to go through to make it.
Yeah.
To make the Mary Poppins movie, he brought her over from England. She needed money. She's originally from Australia, and half of the movie deals with her dealing with the guys that are writing the songs in the Walt Disney Studios, and the other half, which is the part that really ripped me up, is about her dealing with her alcoholic father in Australia as they keep getting pushed further and further out in the Australian outback in the early 1900s because he can't quit drinking, and he's a banker, and they keep just getting pushed further out because he can't hold a job. That just tore me up.
Who played her dad again? Who's that guy?
It's
the guy that played Bullseye.
Yeah. He was in
Colin Farrell.
He's so good in that.
And the lady that plays the author of Mary Poppins is just she is just so in her ways, and just you almost want to call her a bitch, but it's not really that she's like a bitchy person. She's just so tied on so tight to the story that she doesn't allow like a single edit to happen. She has to approve every single word and every single line. And it's all legitimate and true because Disney recorded all of these sessions. And then at the end of the movie, you hear all of their conversations that they had with her and how strict she was with the approvals of Mary Poppins. And the one thing that we didn't talk about that we missed is Walt Disney's played by Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And Gabe, your camera's turned
Yeah,
off.
I'm eating. Nobody wants to see me.
Oh,
stuffing my
okay.
face.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks does a great job because he keeps smoking. He keeps trying to hide his cigarette smoking, which is what kills him. And he keeps hiding the cigarettes, which is, I think, really apropos of the era. You know, he knows that he shouldn't be smoking, and he keeps hiding them. He does a great job playing Walt Disney. And he figures out that the Mary Poppins isn't about Mary Poppins showing up and saving the children. It's about saving Mr. Banks, the father.
Cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
should. Yeah, that Gabe is right. That movie is fantastic.
Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Moana. I love Moana.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Oh, it's so good, Jess. I love Moana. See, even
Okay.
Gio loves Moana.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fun. I got to be careful now.
You mean you opened your heart to a Disney movie? Okay.
Yeah. My favorite Disney movie actually is Lion King and Hercules. Those are my two favorite movies.
Good choices.
Two good movies.
Good choices. Let's see. Remember the Titans? I love Remember the Titans.
That was from a school near me.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
T.C.
cool.
Williams, about 15 minutes away.
Oh.
It's pretty Disneyed up.
I would imagine. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, which I want the Pirates of the Caribbean films in 4K already. Those are great movies.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed 2 and 3 for what they were. They were fun. I don't get why 2 and 3 get so much hate.
Oh, this is Johnny Depp being Hunter S. Thompson again.
To me, those movies are just too long, especially the third one. That was like nearly 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, it was bloated.
To the point where I was like, enough. Just kill the bad guy already.
I liked 1 and 2. I never saw 3.
I love Davy Johnson and the computer effects with his tentacle beard. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That stuff still holds up today. He still looks great for a CGI character.
Which one had Penelope Cruz in it?
The fourth one.
Man, she was so hot in that.
Sleeping Beauty, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Steamboat Willie, The Good Dinosaur,
Steamboat Willie.
I love Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie's great.
I love Steamboat Willie.
Are you gonna get Song to the South?
No.
Yeah. We talked about that. That's staying in the vault.
I'm surprised that's not on YouTube somewhere.
I'm sure you could find it.
If those 11 racist cartoons are on YouTube, I don't see how Songs of the South isn't.
Oh, you could easily find that, I'm sure. The Good Dinosaur. Never saw that one. I can't believe that was a Pixar movie. I heard that was terrible. The Little Mermaid, Parent Trap, the 1961 version.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah. Not everything in the Disney Plus thing is going to be a hit. Prince and the Pauper. We see that with Captain Marvel. The Princess Diaries. The Rocketeer. Ooh, The Rocketeer.
Captain Marvel was good.
Yes, it was.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice. The Short. Sword in the Stone. The Three Caballeros. I used to love that.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. And Tron, the 1982 one. I still want Tron Legacy on 4K.
That's been a good Tron movie.
Tron Legacy?
No, just a good Tron movie.
I remember seeing Tron in the movie theaters.
Wow.
The original
one. It was ahead of its time.
It had the girl from Caddyshack in it. That's why I went. It's totally true. And Bruce Boxleitner.
Oh, I love Caddyshack.
I know. Lacey Underalls. That's who I went to see.
And yeah, that's a lot of stuff to start. I mean, well, when Disney owns 40% of everything we watch, they have a lot of stuff to pull on.
That's fine with me. I don't mind Disney owning everything because they put out a quality product. That's fine.
So yeah, that's all you're getting pretty much at day one. That's a lot of stuff.
And when is day one? Do you know?
I think it's sometime in November.
I don't want to wait till November. I want it now.
But the question is, are you going to get the package with Hulu and with ESPN?
No. I have Hulu bundled with Spotify already.
Yeah, same. I'm not doing that.
And I have ESPN bundled with DirecTV ripoff. So,
Yep.
You still pay for cable, Jess?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a dinosaur in that way because DirecTV has the NFL package.
That's how they get you.
That is exactly right. Otherwise, I would have cut the cord long ago.
One of the benefits of not giving a shit about sports, I don't have to worry about cable.
Yeah, you probably don't care about anything.
I don't care about anything.
That needs to be your new tagline. I don't care about anything.
Well, a lot of people still have cable because it just comes with their home package. Like my mom, she has cable because it just comes with the neighborhood she lives in. Like the internet and cable is included.
Yeah.
That's different, but just is voluntarily giving them money.
Yeah, it's a not insignificant amount too.
No, I know that those NFL packages are not cheap at all.
No, I did not get the baseball package, but I always get the NFL package.
Yeah, I know. What is it called? Like Sunday Ticket or something? Just like
exactly.
Expensive.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised you didn't get the baseball package.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that off the air.
And really, what are you missing if you don't get the NFL package? Do you not have enough like local? You don't get enough of that like on regular TV, or?
Well, see, my team's the LA Rams, and there's no coverage of them here. There's never been any coverage anywhere I've lived of the Rams, so I've always had to. All I get here is Redskins in Baltimore. And so I've always had to, ever since DirecTV had NFL tickets starting in 97 or 98. That's when I started doing it.
Is the Spice Channel going to be included with Disney Plus?
What's the Spice Channel?
Oh, Jess.
It's like softcore porn.
Yeah, it's softcore.
Oh, I thought it was a food channel.
Well, what a surprise! Oh man, I can't wait to get down and watch these guys beat some meat. Oh, this guy's actually beating meat.
Yes. Go ahead and order the Spice Channel for your house.
Hey, sweetie, there's a new food channel called the Spice Channel. You want to get it?
Pretty exotic.
Oh my God, what's that guy doing to that turkey? I'm not hungry anymore.
I swear I'm not usually this naive. Actually, the collector, now that the collector's here, he had a question that I'd like to put to the chat. He is a teacher, and he used
Get out while you can.
Yeah, the story of Superman in the Superheroes by Paul Dini and Alex Ross book as a teaching tool in his class, the Peace on Earth story.
Yeah,
and
the big tabloid book, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, the big tabloid book.
Yeah, and it's about Superman, you know, with those beautiful Alex Ross drawings and about what he can and can't do, staying on the right side of the law. And he wonders, and I was going to put it to the chat and you guys, what else is similar to that he could use as a teaching tool to his class? In other words, the collector, correct me if I'm wrong, or put in the chat what exactly, and D.H. McAdams, don't worry, we're not going to do that. But the collector, put in words what you would like the kind of books you'd like, something uplifting, that's hopeful, that fifth graders from all walks of life can be used as a teaching tool.
Cross.
Okay, I'm glad you
not
said.
crossed.
I'm glad you said fifth graders. I was wondering what age group you were talking about.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fifth graders. Is that right, the collector?
I'm thinking
Bone
right
would
now,
be-
just looking at my shelf,
Bone
Dark
would be too
Knight.
young.
I'm thinking Dark Knight by Paul Dini, another Paul Dini book, I guess. That one where he got mugged and beaten, but it's a good story because it's about triumphing through a tough time like that.
Well, okay. Here's what the collector's saying. How can one individual make a difference in someone's life? Service project. It's a service project oriented class. How can one individual make a difference in someone's life?
What's the age group again?
I believe it's fifth grade. Is that right, the collector?
Let me think.
How about those? He's a senator. What's the name of the books that he's been coming out with?
March?
Yes.
March
That's
would
a
be
good
good.
one. That's a really good one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is fifth grade. March would be good to collector by John Lewis.
He walked with Martin Luther King.
Yeah, lots of times. March. Let me put that in the. Let me see if I can do it without messing things up. March by John Lewis.
I can't think of anything that I have that would be like that.
Or motivate others. Yes, he said.
Motivate.
Yeah, so I'm putting that question to the chat and to you guys because he asked me the other day, and I was like, anything Superman. If I feel like anything Superman related, like especially that one panel that Lou always mentions from All Star Superman, that always sends a chill up my spine where he helps the girl standing on the edge of the building. That one panel just was so affecting. But I don't know that the whole book would do that. But anything that you guys can think of that would help one individual make a difference in someone's life, comic book wise, because it apparently really helped and motivated his fifth graders.
I got a lot of inappropriate books. Damn it. I can't pick.
Yeah, I got Deadpool and Harley Quinn and Punisher. They aren't helping. 100 Bullets, that's not going to do it.
Yeah, Stray Bullets isn't going to help. Cross isn't going to help.
Berserk ain't going to help anybody.
How do you feel about demon rape? Berserk isn't going to help.
Orcstain isn't going to help.
No.
What about Chris M said her students, my sister said her students love Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I know that's popular in schools.
Ooh. Do they love Squirrel Girl?
Don't even start. That's what I need. A Squirrel Girl written by Kirkman.
Yeah, he's looking for work now, so.
Looking for work.
No, he's got anything else out that's good.
Now he's got to feed his family.
He's still probably collecting those Walking Dead checks from that Dead TV series.
He's still he's still one of the head figures at Image, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's a partner. He's the first and only outsider to become a partner.
Wow.
This question got me stumped. I can't think of anything. Like I was thinking that, like I said, that Dark Knight by Paul Dini, but I mean, outside of that, I'm out.
What about the Fantagraphics book, Jess, that you like? With the girl that she's in Chicago, I think she's got her notepad and
what
was that called?
My
again?
favorite thing is monsters.
What about that book?
I think that may be a little too complex for fifth graders, and I don't know that. I think it's probably too dark for them, and I don't know that anything there's a difference made because it's not hopeful to me like Peace on Earth is. Although it's a great book, but I don't know that it's. I think he wants hopeful books. I feel like Superman's the answer because Superman. Well, the S stands for hope, so I feel like Superman books would be the answer, but I just can't think of a Superman book right now.
Huh. The collector says, I had a student bring in 10 books the next day. One was Suicide Squad. Another said, I'll grab some of my grandpa's comics from the 60s. Hey, if he's got some key issues.
Yeah, I'm going to say, let me see what he brings.
If he's got some key issues, take that stuff and say you can't bring this to school.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm confiscating this from you, and I'm selling it to somebody I know in Vegas.
This is a little weird, but what about Klaus from Grant Morrison?
Oh, well, I don't know. Again, this isn't really about somebody coming in somebody's life, and it's changing. But you said Grant Morrison. The only good Grant Morrison book I could think of is Joe the Barbarian.
Joe the Barbarian. Yeah, that one's good too.
What about Joe the Barbarian's a good book.
Mm-hmm.
Thor the Mighty Avenger.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a fun kids book, but I don't know if it's like there's like a message behind it.
Mm. It's a fun all ages book.
Yeah. Pride of Baghdad.
Oh my God, no.
Did you guys talk about the AT&T thing? Because everybody keeps blowing up our chat about it.
We haven't talked about it yet. Right now we're
Okay, I was just wondering. I'm just wondering because everybody keeps insisting on it in the chat. They're like the annoying kids that keep poking us with the stick.
okay. We can talk about it next.
The chat has been asking for that since last Sunday.
Yeah.
Sheets is a great book. I'm trying to think of its. Well, there's no sex in it. There's just a ghost, and it's super quirky. Sheets might actually work. That is a great book.
That's not bad.
Sheets might actually work. That's a good suggestion. Efrain Navarro. The MJS Superman where he walked across the country. Yeah, that was good.
What was the one where he gave up on the United States and he renounced his citizenship?
That was Action Comics 700, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's one from Kristan. She knows comics. The Silence of Our Friends would be great for the classroom. Civil rights, true story, art by Nate Powell. Kristan says it, so I believe it. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what about My Hero Academia?
If we're gonna go into manga, then yeah, I think that would be good.
Yeah, overcoming obstacles, things like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Plus,
Yeah, not giving up on what you believe in. Believe in yourself and not giving up. That's kind of what My Hero Academia is, right?
I mean, the protagonist has 0 powers, so he literally, he overcomes a huge obstacle right from the beginning. So,
did anybody check out that? That's not Stan Sakai.
George Takai.
Yeah, his book.
They called us enemy.
Right.
Yeah, I ordered that, but I haven't got it yet.
I wonder if that would be.
Yeah, that might be a good book, but I haven't read it yet.
Worlds and Ink, you have to realize that a lot of that stuff is just clickbait, and people just want to get your views so they can get dollar amounts, and 90% of them are just bullshitting.
Yeah, let's put that question up, and that can lead us into our next topic.
But I think manga is a good choice. That's going to be you, Lou, and maybe Ryley. Maybe come back, swing around Ryley on this. But these days, kids are reading but that age group is reading manga the way we used to eat up comic books.
A lot of manga. Like I worked at an elementary school last year. That was hell.
Yeah.
I'm working at a middle school this year, which is much better. I'm enjoying it much better.
Yeah, I mean, we had to keep expanding our manga section at the store.
Yeah,
Nice.
And in middle school and elementary school, all I see are kids reading are manga. That's it. That's all they're reading right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
A lot of manga.
Yeah,
As long as they read.
middle
I-
age or not middle age.
I'm gonna go with manga A. Yeah. My Hero Academia, One Piece. Those are the two big titles in my head right now that I'm like, yeah, One Piece. You know, it's a little bit different out there, but it has a positive message. People coming together for a cause and becoming friends and all that stuff. And yeah.
Still the number one seller.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's always been.
I feel like we've given the collector a lot of ideas, so that's good. And I feel like since the chat has multiple sticks in our eyes about DC going out of business, let's attack that next.
Oh
Hey,
boy.
kids.
Clickbait time.
Hey kids, it's a dead horse. Let's get a bat.
Yeah.
The Forbes article is what I think we're referring to because of it referred to where does DC fit into AT&T's plans at the moment and in the future. Am I correct in that, Gabe?
Yeah, it's that, and then I would also think it was also the digital kind of the weakness
Sales
or the softness of digital sales that Jim Lee was talking about as well.
And Dan Didio was also mentioning something about they can't just keep selling on nostalgia. And the digital sales were weak.
Real quick, just before we get into it, I'm going to put the link to that Forbes article in the chat.
Okay.
And then anybody watching at home, while we talk about it, I'm going to go in and I'll edit our description and put the link into the description as well.
Oh, okay,
so
great.
Kind of have some context.
So these are my thoughts. I have been virulently anti AT&T for a while now because they have hundreds of millions of dollars in debt and have difficulty at this point managing it because they've swallowed up so much. Warner Brothers, DirecTV, NBC Universal, the list goes on. They are a huge conglomerate now. Whether or not they should be allowed to be is a question for Congress. It's been allowed to happen, so there it is. And here's tiny DC, a little drop in the bucket, sitting there in a little bottom line part of Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has not necessarily efficiently managed DC that well for a long time now. We could see it in their movies. We've seen it in their collected editions. I think that Rebirth was a good reboot. I don't know where they're going now with it. New 52 had its pluses and minuses. I feel like people feel it was more minuses. Convergence was awful. So there's been a lot of mismanagement of DC as a comics line for a while now. This is just my opinion. So there's been a lot of mismanagement on the comic side, and they have not been successful on the group movies. They've been successful with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, the Christopher Nolan Batman series,
Shazam.
So they've been they can be successful with movies when they stick to a particular character. Where what they do have is hundreds of millions of dollars worth of merchandise for sale with or without comics. They don't necessarily need at this point comics to sell Superman t-shirts around the world. Kids wear Superman and Flash I would argue that their iconic logos, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, those are more recognizable than a lot of Marvel logos around the world, and they can merchandise those successfully without comics. So the question is, does AT&T, do they feel they need comics at all to push forward? Because they're not, DC does not make enough money to matter to them. DC Comics. They need to somehow address, I don't know how much debt they have. $200 billion worth of debt? I have no idea. We could look it up right now and find out how much debt AT&T is carrying. Whatever it is a very large number that they are carrying. So DC doesn't make any difference to them. I'm not even sure Warner Brothers makes any difference to them unless they can pump out a ton of really great movies that bring in, Aquaman numbers. So that's the question. So where does AT&T go from here with DC Comics? Do they even care is the question. And if you're asking me if they care, I would say the mismanagement of the comic book line shows to me they do not care. Does it mean the end of DC Comics? I don't have the answer. I'm not. The fact that it was in Forbes shows me DC is in play. It could go 50-50. I mean, it's a serious issue. The fact Forbes is not bleeding cool. Forbes is a real business journal with highly seasoned writers that know their stuff. The fact that that article even got written means AT&T is thinking about what it should do with DC Comics. And so it's a kind of guessing game. It's in play. I mean, they could close it down and I wouldn't be shocked.
Do you think it's possible that they end up just selling DC Comics but keeping the film stuff?
Sure. But I don't know who would buy it and give up the film rights.
But then that's tricky because DC is owned by Warner Brothers, so you would have to sell. You would be telling Warner Brothers to split everything apart, and I don't think they're going to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see how AT&T or Warner Brothers, whoever, would allow their characters to be represented even in a comic book by an outside source.
That's a good point.
They're again like Jess is saying, and kind of like the main idea here and the main kind of money flow that AT&T is getting from these characters that they bought is the merchandising. So again, just like with the Batman Damned situation, where that was literally the first day that AT&T took over and DC got their new boss, day one is when the Batwing thing happened. And the topic there in-house was, we can't sell T-shirts to little kids if we have Batman's dick hanging out in a comic book.
Sure, we can.
In the same way, you can't have another company do stories that might possibly be controversial or not within their character design of a character that they're trying to make another movie out of or make more merchandise or more toys out of. So I think there's a lot of control with these characters, and the comic books are very minor, like Jess was saying, very minor income to AT&T. They make nothing off of
it's a drop
side of things. Exactly. Which is also why I can see how people are getting concerned that there is a possibility that the publishing side of DC can't easily go away. Mad magazine, which is a part of DC, just went away. And that is a huge, huge indication that AT&T is looking to cut some fat out.
Mm-hmm.
And they are hoping to make their money back and grow their company off the back of the IP of these characters with merchandising, with movies and things like that. And they don't need to have a publishing side do anything with that. It's a strip mining idea of these characters. Same thing that happened to Marvel when they were bankrupt. That was because Revlon took over and did the same thing with them and just strip mine those characters until that company went bankrupt. There are some similarities, and I can see where the sky is falling kind of attitude is coming from. And also with the other information that we've seen recently with the weakness of the DC Universe app, that's going away. With the kind of restructuring that had to be done in the trades department, the slumping sales of comics just overall in general, all of that has to play into the aspect that it is a possibility that publishing side of DC can't easily go away. They don't need Bendis. They don't need Dan DiDio. They don't need Jim Lee to do anything else with these characters in the comic book side of things and still not be successful. They could just live off of these characters forever on t-shirts, movies, video games, and things like that. Because they're obviously not really using the stories for these movies. They're not using the stories or the comic books to influence anything else that's making money.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's there for them, and I think they're seeing that it might not be there for them. I'm not screaming at the top of the mountains that DC is going away, but I can see how people can think that, because I see the writing on the walls too. I see what people are instigating about and thinking could actually happen.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
because I'm sorry.
Yeah, the other thing with Jim Lee, he and Dan DiDio was saying that these subscription services aren't working for them either.
Mm-hmm.
Or the subscription services is working better than they wanted to, because the subscription service to DC Universe is cutting into their actual sales of single digital comics. And that has got to be another line item on some spreadsheet somewhere that is highlighted red now, or has some kind of indication and some kind of a red flag within these accountants for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And something fell behind me.
Well, I mean, my fear is, and it's a very real possibility that I'm going to wake up one morning, I'm going to look on Twitter, and the trending thing is DC Comics closing down. And it's, it's going to be a sad day if we do get to that point, because you think about the history of DC Comics and what they've contributed to society, and just an insane amount. And it will be a very sad day if they do decide to shutter the doors of DC Comics one day, and they just decide, you know what, we don't really need this stuff. We're just going to put out cartoons. We're going to put out the movies, and we're cutting our losses there.
The publishing side is probably the only thing out of this deal that is not making them a crap ton of money. That has to be the only. It's almost like the inherited, like, redheaded stepchild of that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else. I mean, sure, the movies aren't wildly successful. They're not comparatively towards the numbers of like Endgame and the Avenger movies and the Marvel films. But what they're lacking in like box office take, they're making up on merchandise, T-shirts, Blu-ray sales, 4K sales,
toys,
like
figures.
that. Exactly. But nothing is really supplementing any kind of publishing debt or any publishing, the publishing thing's not making money, or at least not making a lot of money. So at what point does that, their P&L report come out, where they're just like, we're not, it's maybe costing us almost as much to keep the publishing side around as it does for us to make money off of the publishing side of things.
Damn shame. No,
it's business. It's just business. It's like I said, this is all just spreadsheet numbers that people are looking at. They're not looking at the history of these characters and the history of comics and the history of publishing. They're just looking at, where are we, filtering money into that we're not getting back out of. That their investment amount into the publishing side has got to be its weakest return. And that's anybody who's running numbers, that's a concern. That can be scary. Where on the flip side of things, with Disney taking over Marvel, it's almost the exact opposite effect. They're not getting really involved, it feels like, with the publishing side. They're not really interfering with current stories or characters, it seems like.
Yeah. Now, my question is for you, Gabe, like somebody that is a retailer, how will that affect you guys in your bottom line? Like you guys are obviously going to take a hit from some of that stuff, right?
If tomorrow DC stopped making comics, I think it will be the end of, well, it's going to be the end of direct market. It'll be the end of new comics.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Marvel can be the sole sustainer of every brick and mortar comic book store. Well, Marvel / all the indie stuff. And unfortunately, the indie stuff is almost like how we're describing the publishing side of this. The indie stuff is probably pennies compared in a comic book store. Stores make probably pennies off of the indie stuff compared to what it makes off of the big two stuff. So it's the pennies they make off of indie comics and the money that's made off of Marvel books is not going to sustain 95% of comic book stores. A store like my store, like Torpedo, we have different channels and different lines of income coming into the store with the back issues and the CGCs and things like that. Back issues, I don't think will ever go away.
No.
The back issues and keys and Silver Age, Golden Age collectors, those will never go away.
Yeah.
People have even asked me that. Do you think like these new kids are ever going to fall, or is all the back issue collectors eventually going to die out? And I don't think so, because the way it works as a collector when you're reading comics, you eventually mature in your taste of comics and your collecting ability, and you kind of you go into comics reading comics and maybe buying variants, and as your taste matures, you go backwards and you start collecting the big issues and the keys and the CGCs. As you know, there's a gradual escalation of maturity into your collecting that way. So I don't think that stuff will ever really go away. It might soften a little bit because there won't be that many collectors out there. But I think for the most part, comic book stores would disappear. There's not many stores that can live off of just Marvel and indie books.
Yeah, they would become kind of like a specialty shop. Like
most stores would just be like conventions. You would see you just become a convention dealer, and you would just travel with your stock from convention to convention to convention.
So it would be like, it would kind of like be a retro store, like a store just dedicated to like the retro video games, where that is all they carry and stuff like that. And do you see Marvel just going straight, okay, well, you know, comic book stores are tanking. They're pretty much all going out of business. Let's just go straight to the direct market. We'll sell our stuff just straight digitally. We will still have, you know, the trades and stuff like that if people want that stuff through Amazon and through like in stock trades and things like that. But for the most part, we're just going digital.
I don't think Marvel would make that decision themselves. I think the market of comic book stores crashing at an alarming rate would just make that happen on its own.
Yeah,
because there wouldn't be anybody for them to sell direct physical copies to anymore.
If DC closed down, could Marvel? This sounds like a naive question, but I'm wondering, and I don't think there'd be any antitrust concerns because DC would have closed down at this point. For making the argument that you would be keeping thousands of mom and pop stores alive, could Marvel actually buy the intellectual property rights from Warner Brothers, or could they actually buy DC?
I think there's always that possibility. But
what is your risk of monopoly, though?
But to what I was saying earlier, I don't think a big company like AT&T would allow another company, especially their immediate competitor,
because
to have any control over their IP.
Over their IP. Okay, yeah.
Who's to stop? You know, okay, it's Marvel's characters. Marvel now owns Batman on the publishing side of things.
I see.
What's stopping, and this would never happen, but what's stopping them from making Batman, and I'm not saying this is a negative thing, but this would have a negative reaction if they made Batman gay, or they made Batman like a super mass murderer, or anything like that, that would completely sidebar the outlook and their portrayal that AT&T and Warner Brothers is trying to sell on the t-shirts of, you know, my 5-year-old.
Okay, yeah, I see your point.
Dude, if even the rumor of Batman being gay would come out, you would have 2-minute-long YouTube rant think pieces. By assholes online just bitching for days on end.
Or Superman goes to, you know, he finds Krypton and he realizes, oh, you know what's really cool in Krypton? This Krypton heroin, and he becomes this crazy Krypton junkie.
I would actually say this.
I would too, but I don't think AT&T would sign off on something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Not when they're making a movie and they got a movie coming out that same week that Superman is shooting up in between his toes, that Superman's trying to save a kid, or he's doing an anti-drug, you know, kind of thing. Who knows? But I think that's the one thing that's preventing DC, AT&T, Warner Brothers, whoever you want to take their characters and allow them to be controlled by somebody else.
Okay. I see exactly what you're saying. They are more valuable at some point, maybe more dead than alive.
Yeah, it's
the comic books.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like Mickey Mouse. You know, there's not a Mickey Mouse movie being made, but you get Mickey Mouse T-shirts and Mickey Mouse cartoons and Mickey Mouse toys and things like that. So Disney wouldn't let some other publishing company, publish, you know, Mickey comics that they didn't have complete 100% control over.
Keep in mind that DC has been around for 85 years, so there's a legacy involved. I don't necessarily think it'll go under, but it might slow down considerably. That's my... Yeah.
It could be like Marvel Comics in the late 50s, when all it was Stan Lee and like 2 other people running the entire shop, and there was that mass layoff, and they just there's fat on the meat here that can be cut. We all know that it could happen. They could run a lot more slim and trim if they wanted to, because there's not a lot of money to be made in comics.
And I do have a question for you guys. What do you think are fans' role in all of this? How can they voice their opinion on it?
I don't think AT&T has an ear for fans at all, I don't think Warner Brothers does either.
I don't think the majority of fans care enough. And by fans, I'm casting a wider net. I'm spreading out the box of fans to not just comic book fans, but the larger fan base of movie fans who don't go into a comic book store and buy a comic book after seeing Justice League or Aquaman or Shazam. That would be the only way to for sure guarantee that DC stays around and that they are profitable. If there was somehow a way to get, I don't know, 3% of these fans that go see the movies go out and buy a physical comic book, or even digital comic, or just buy a comic book in general.
Yeah,
that would be the only way that DC as a publishing site, I think, would look profitable enough that they show up on the radar for these people.
I think also in small part it has a lot to do with the culture today, with the internet culture that we have today, where we have kids who look, we've got kids that just flat out don't want to read. Yes, you have a bunch of people that still read manga and they love it and everything, but we have kids that flat out don't want to read. That's how you have jackasses like Comic Story, and who they read the comics for you, and they've got 1 million subs on YouTube. That's how they do that stuff. Like they don't want to put in the work and they don't want to read, and it's sad. I mean, and they're proud of it. It's really kind of sad. Where you ask some kids today and you ask them, well, do you read? And they go, no, I don't read. And they're proud of it. And it's kind of sad. And, you know, I don't know. I you know, we're living in a world where ignorance is more rewarded, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You see it all the time. You see it all the time with YouTube videos and stuff like that with think pieces,
Hot takes.
hot takes,
Video essays.
you know, an instant reaction where everybody wants the satisfaction immediately. They want it like that. They don't want to put in the work. They don't want to have to read something, or they don't want to have to research something if they don't have to. You know, this is how we also get mistakes in the media. This is how we get people just kind of rush out stuff all the time.
Well, it's also just technology too. I'm not blaming technology. I'm not being some technophobe, but with the way technology is, and you can get comics for free online. There are people who are alive today who was basically born with like a cell phone in their hand.
Yep.
Where people like us, we grew up. We were the last kind of generation of people who had to adapt to the world of cell phones and internet and constant internet connection and internet reach outs, where kids today or kids in the future who are being born, that is the norm. That is what they were born into. It's almost like us when we were born into a world where there was already TV, where people like Jess or older than Jess had to adapt to living in a world with TV and figure it out. Where nowadays it's a normal basis. So when these kids looking, or when people looking at getting any kind of literature, it's all downloads. It's all reading it on an iPad or something like that as well.
But the parents aren't also helping either. I mean, we had kids at our open house that we would try to talk to the kids, and we are literally just looking at their face, and they're just looking at their phones, and the parents are just laughing it off. And I'm like, no, that is not right. Like, that is not teaching your kids good social skills. They're in 7th grade. They should be able to interact and look at another person and not just stare at their phones when somebody is talking to them in the face. And you should not be encouraging this.
Have that conversation with other people.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of get back on more on topic. I just think the publishing side is again just another cost as opposed to a source of income for AT&T, and that's worrisome.
So let's say AT&T decides that DC is not worth it. How much time are we giving DC then? Just off the top of our heads, do they have till the end of 2020?
You mean if AT&T decided today that they were stepping away from publishing in general for DC?
Correct.
A year.
2 years, maybe.
I think it'll take about a year to kind of sell off its assets, and liquidate what they can out of the publishing side of things.
Okay, to be clear, OmniBros is not saying DC has a year. We're just saying we're not saying that.
If they pulled the plug today, I think it would take about a year for that power to completely turn off.
Okay.
Can you see Amazon? I know this is something that's brought up in the chat. Can you see Amazon buying them? Because they own Comixology. Why not?
Well,
Comixology is another store. They couldn't buy out the characters, I would think.
No, but Amazon specifically.
Yeah, but they wouldn't let the IP thing go. AT&T wouldn't let the character IPs go. That's why Marvel wouldn't be allowed to buy DC.
Yeah, Amazon wouldn't be able to create new Batman titles or Batman stories. I think I kind of almost agree with Gio, honestly. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm sorry, that came off like a bad thing.
Snarky Gabe.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Gio. I think if anything, it will slowly slow down their output of comics. Because think about it, especially the niche realm that we reside in this hobby of collected editions. We see. I think we can all see that is a growing market and a lot more of a preferred format, especially today when I talk about technology and the idea of binging, where you don't have to wait for the end of your story to come out. It all comes out at once. I could see it, if anything, if they do any sort of publishing, I could see them just sticking to collected editions and let comic book stores die, which, they don't care. All the comic book stores can die and they wouldn't be affected because they could still sell through Amazon. They can still put these books on bookshelves at Barnes and Noble. Hell, they might even just open up their own comic book store and just sell trade paperbacks and collected editions.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it going that way. Outside of it actually being like a single issue kind of that and digital. I don't think digital will ever go away because
I agree with that.
Cost them nothing.
Yeah, it costs them nothing, and the books are the same price.
And comic books are getting way, way more expensive right now. A lot more. I mean, I know Absolute Carnage was a double-sized issue. It was 60 pages or whatever, but it was still $8. And I could see that, and as successful as that number one issue was, I could see comics being all close to $8 at one point. In the next, I would say less than 5 years, $8.
Well, now that is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're going to see sales crater when that happens.
Because, like I've been saying, what's happening is the circle of people buying comics is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And what they have to do to stay afloat is sell more to that smaller amount or sell less but at a higher price. I mean, that's just basic business. That's just how things work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that as the community shrinks, prices are going to get higher. And variant covers become more. Variant covers and variant collectors are the one single thing that is keeping comics alive and comic book stores alive. 100%. It's the variants. Sales of comics, as good as they sound, is only because stores and other dealers will go out and order enough to get these variants and sell those at a higher price. That is supplementing the income of comic book stores, 100%, without a doubt. That's what's keeping these sales alive. If it wasn't for variant covers, like we could look up, maybe one day I could bring it up or figure it out one day. If you could look at the sales numbers of a book that has like 10 variants, like a new number one, versus the sales numbers of like a number 5 that has no variant covers, it's probably 80 to 90% shrinkage. And you can't have, let's say, a book sell 100,000 copies at a number 1 and then sell 15,000 copies at a number 5. If 15,000 copies is what a normal comic book can sustain, so number 1 is 100,000, and it'll slowly dip as it goes on to each issue. And if 15,000 is what you're selling at number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, and those numbers start to shrink, if that is your plateau line, comics are not going to survive. They can't survive 15,000 units being moved of a single issue at $4 a pop, $5 a pop. It'll have to be $8 to $10 a pop to make that profitable. I hope that makes sense. But yeah. You can't, that's the way it works. Is that 100,000 sales, the money that comic companies are getting from that 100,000 unit sales, 200,000 unit sales of number 1s, or whatever issue has these crazy big variants, that is supplementing the sales of the number 2, supplementing the sales of number 3, number 4, number 5, until that money runs out. That is when a title gets canceled.
Yeah.
I don't have inside information to prove that, but that is what I see in the numbers. Is you sell $100,000 or 100,000 units of something else, that's your nut that you just made, and that money supplements everything else until it dries out, and then the series is canceled.
I'm gonna take the less optimistic route. I'm gonna say eventually AT&T will just close the doors on DC Comics. Whether it's, this is just me thinking out loud, whether that's now, in the next year, 2, 3 years, or whatever, I say they go that route. They evaluate everything. They're like, look, we're just going to do the movies. We're going to do the films, the video games, all that stuff. You know, Batman, Superman, they're popular enough characters that they can survive, and they're part of pop culture lexicon that we really don't need the comic stuff. if that happens, like Gabe said, you're gonna get those. The mom and pop stores are done. Like the smaller mom and pop stores, you're gonna have stores like Torpedo, like Gabe has, where they're specialty stores, and it'll be like going into a retro video game store, where you've got people coming in. Oh man, this is cool. Let's get some key issues. Let's get some back issues. Da da da. For the most part, Marvel will go digital. They've got Marvel Unlimited and stuff like that. Disney's not gonna touch that stuff because they haven't been messing with a formula that works right now, and they have no reason to touch that stuff. So, but for the most part, you're gonna get the market that's gonna go straight up just digital, with collected editions coming out in trade paperbacks and hardcovers and stuff like that. So we'll at least have in-stock trades for a long time. Thank God.
I 100% believe that. I think that instead of comics coming out in single issues, that they'll just wait till all 6 issues or all 12 issues or whatever is done and put it out as a graphic novel.
Right. And to me, TKO is just ahead of the curve right now.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it's not as crazy.
Because somebody comes to the comic book store and goes, "Hey, I'm looking for Long Halloween number 6." That's very rare. It's usually like, "Do you got the trade paperback for Long Halloween?" And a lot of times when people come in and they go, I'm looking for a Spider-Man book for my kid. Like, what do you suggest? And they start looking at single issues. I kind of have to say, don't worry about the single issues.
Yeah.
Let me walk you over here to trade paperback selection. Sure, you're going to spend $25 to $35 for this trade paperback, but you're getting 12 issues. Your kid's going to read that $5 comic book in 5 seconds, and then he's on your ass again and he's bothering you. If you give him this big old trade paperback, he'll probably burn through it in 2 hours, but at least that's 2 hours that he's actually physically reading something, as opposed to the 5 minutes it takes to read a single issue.
Yeah, and the good news is, guys, that because we're a collected edition podcast, you're going to get us around for a couple more years.
Yeah. See that happening? It's going to just be like, here is the collected. Here is, instead of like, Powers of X1, Powers of X2, House of 10, or Powers of 10, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll just be like, here is Hickman's X-Men Volume 1. And then you'd read it, and then you would have to, maybe wait. Or it'll be like mangas. It'll be just like mangas where you just wait for the next volume to come out. Yeah. It'll just put that format. I guarantee it.
And the thing is that I remember when TKO was announcing their business model, people were saying, "Oh man, I don't know how that's sustainable." They're just ahead of the curve, man. I really think they are.
That's just dinosaurs saying that that's not going to work.
Yeah, I really think they are just ahead of the curve right now, and they are just 2 steps ahead of everybody. And I think it's just a matter of time before people start following their lead.
TKO is smart. They are. It's a hockey term, but it's like you don't go where the hockey puck is. You go where the hockey puck is going to be. You see that where that hockey puck is going to be is collected editions and binge. They might just maybe Marvel and DC would just do that where here's all the singles and here's the complete trade paperback. You get to choose. What do you like better, singles or trade? But here's both at once.
Speaking of trade paperbacks. InStockTrades.com, where you can get all your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that, so you can get some of your books up to 52% off. And every 3 months or so, there's a OmniBros discount code. If you live in the United States and you order $50 or more worth of books, you get free shipping. Fabulous customer service. Fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Who will be around for a long time. Don't worry about it. Well, that was an awesome conversation. It needed to be said, but I think we ended on a hopeful note because it's possible DC can follow the TKO model and survive. So I think we finished on a hopeful note. And Gabe even used a sports metaphor, which is amazing.
Yeah, and I think I used it right, too.
Yeah, you did. Totally.
Yeah, I made a touchdown with that.
I think people should stay optimistic.
I think so, too.
And not worry 100%.
Yeah.
Just let things play out because I'm sure people at DC Comics, they're working hard for that to not happen.
Yeah.
And you know, guys like Didio and Lee, they're not gonna just go like, okay, yeah, shut us off. You know, there is going to be a response to this, so we'll have to wait. Don't go all apocalyptic on us.
Yeah.
chat.
All we can do is buy the books we love and enjoy them while we can. That's all you can ever do. You can. The only thing I have control over right now is the 2-foot square space that I occupy. And most of the time, I don't even have control over that because my brain is in that space too. So relax, enjoy the books you love, and just keep buying what you like to buy, what you like to read. Anything's possible. This has just been our 2 cents on what we think could or could not happen. It's way beyond our control. Hopefully they're in there pitching in, trying to make it work. One thing's for sure, everybody on the internet knows nothing, including us. We're speculating at best. So don't worry.
Watcher, we know what's going on. We know what's going on.
We know what we think we know.
Yeah, we all got comic book shirts on. We are inside.
That's true. I'm representing.
Actually, no, not me. Got
a RoboCop on.
Yeah,
there's a comic book. Frank Miller wrote a comic book.
Yeah, Frank Miller wrote RoboCop 2.
True.
Oh yeah, so no, exactly.
There's something funny. Yeah, you did overreact.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Like, let's not try to play the sky is falling and stop buying comics or anything like that, because we don't know what's going on. But if all of a sudden everybody just says, "Well, DC's dead, so I'm gonna stop buying books," that's
then it will die. So yeah.
So like just said, just buy what you like. That should always be the mantra. That's the mantra of the store or of the show.
Yeah,
buy what you like.
No,
don't go out and buy extra crap because you think you're going to buy a bunch of shitty books that's going to keep DC around. Just buy what you like. Enjoy what you like. Share it with people.
Yeah,
share it with a friend. Share it, and have them share it with somebody else. You spread the love of comics.
There you go. Now, Gabe, worst case scenario, let's say they do go under. What's going to happen to those DC key issues? Is that price going to skyrocket on those?
The real big key issues will always be around, always will be popular. Like, first appearance of Batman, those crazy multi-million-dollar books will always be around. But like modern stuff would just die off. Like modern or modern issues.
No, I'm talking about classic stuff. Like already Golden Age, your Silver Age classic stuff.
That stuff's always going to be popular. It's always going to be pricey. I'm sure there's going to be a dip in the price because that's just the way life works. It's the same as with Walking Dead right now. If anybody has Walking Dead comics and you're thinking about getting rid of them, now two months ago was the time to do it. Get rid of them. That stuff is going soft right now. Really, really bad because the series is over. Number ones are dying. So if you want a number one and you didn't want to spend $3,000 for one, just keep holding. You can get one for a decent price right now. I would say 9/8 of number one are probably around below the $2,000 mark right now. I would think. I haven't looked it up, but I think if not, it will be soon. And I can see it just continuing to die because there is no comics for that to really support what that is. And that same kind of aspect would affect comics in general if DC Comics disappeared or if Marvel ever disappeared.
If you were looking to sell off your Walking Dead number one in your collection, you're a few years late on that boat.
Yeah. Get what you can out of it now. Because here's the thing: if you're just a collector and you're like, I just want them all, sell it now, and you can buy it later in like 5 years for dirt cheap. You'll be able to buy it all back.
Because the hype has died down.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hey, have you heard from Mattel at all, Gabe?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
okay.
I'll have to talk to you about it after this.
Okay, good. Woohoo! I'm excited. Okay, Week in Geekdom. Where can they find you?
You can find me on my channel where I talk about positive news. No, I'm kidding. Where I talk about anime, comics, manga, and everything else in between. That's a Week in Geekdom.
Gabe, where can they find you, my friend?
find me on Instagram, Gabe Infinity Watch. Follow OmniBroslive on Instagram as well, and the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group.
Fabulous, fabulous. And the always on time Comics Guide 101. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Comics Guide 101, on YouTube, Comics Guide 101, where there are new videos going up Monday through Friday. Yeah, that's where you can find me.
Nice.
I was thinking about, I need one more video for this week, and I think I just found my topic: the death of DC Comics, or something like that.
Super clickbaity.
Clickbait.
Totally.
And you can find me, Omnidog, on Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and on Instagram, Omnidog_Vault.
Dog.
And next week, we'll have a more uplifting topic. Maybe we'll get to DC solicits next week. But by that time, everybody will already know about them. But this conversation needed to be had.
We can always talk about it tomorrow. The solicits.
Sure. Why not? I haven't hauled or read anything. Oh,
Yeah, my hauls are. I don't think I have much of a haul, if any, and I haven't read much yet. So
yeah,
I haven't solicits and then get into previews or something next week.
Yeah, sure. Good. Yeah,
See,
tomorrow night.
Omar bought everything, and we have to wait 5 hours as he goes through like all the stuff he bought.
Yeah, tune into us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for what should be hauls, previews, and reads, but maybe previews and solicitations from DC.
I love that Omar is now just circa 2016.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Good night, everybody.
The Orange Skull.
Orange Skull.
Orange Skull.